High-value men make women crazy without touching. MC John greets the audience. I'm watching the show on the Stoic Mind channel. Have you ever wondered why there are men it's easy to attract women's attention, while others are completely ignored? It's not really because they're more handsome, richer or more articulate. It's because they have a secret that most men don't realize. What is the secret? That's the real appeal. It doesn't start with external actions. It starts with the mind inside. If you don't understand this, you're losing your chance to become a man that she can't stop thinking about. The opportunity to create a deep connection and leave a lasting impression on her. It's a shame. Most men. All my life I have relied on tank tactics. Floating like a gesture, praise, or hasty attempts to impress. These things can be effective in the short term, but it will be the fastest. Never help you get to try the attraction that makes her he remembers even though you left. But here's the good news. Attraction is a skill you can absolutely learn. The philosophers Stoic thought once taught that the power and control of life, it comes from your own mind. When you master this principle and apply it to relationships, you'll open a door lead to the kind of attraction there are very few men in this world can be achieved. In this video, Stoic thinking will show you how to turn things around. Ways that you can create deep attraction without touching her hand. By the end of the video, you won't just know what to do, but also understand ways to make her crave your presence in the most natural way. Before we start, Stoic thinking is looking forward to your support to share this Stoic philosophy with Lan. If you haven't subscribed to the channel of Stoic thinking, press the subscribe button to the channel of Stoic thinking and catch the alarm. Don't miss the new videos. If you see today's content, or leave number 1 in the comments. If you are not satisfied, don't be afraid to be stoic. Know by leaving number 2 that will help Stoic thinking improve even more. In the next videos, let's explore together. It's the power of invisible attraction. Most men think that the attraction lies in the external contact gestures, like a soft touch on the shoulder, a hug, or simply a finger through her hand. But the truth is, those gestures only attract attention in a short moment, and then it will quickly have to open, leaving a lasting mark on her mind. It's not about touch. It's something deeper than the mind and emotions. You see, people connect first through emotional and psychological, before any physical contact appears. The way you look at her, the words you say, and the energy you carry, they all have the power to create an invisible attraction. But full of paralysis. When you understand and use this, she'll feel there's an attraction can't explain. It's like an invisible force pulling her towards you. Think of classic movie scenes too. The characters exchanged glances from a distance. We don't need to touch each other without saying a word, but you still feel it. The mesmerizing tension in the air. It's not fiction. It's a real phenomenon. When you master the power of non-physical attraction, you'll have a more sustainable power. Any external action that can create. Let's look at it from a different perspective. If you just rely on touch, it's like writing on paper with invisible ink. As soon as you stop, the imprint disappears. But when you master art, the subtleties of attraction from within, then it's like carving your image into her mind. She'll always ask for what you say. Feel the energy and courage you leave behind, even if you left the room a long time ago. It's a real example of invisible gravity. Imagine you're talking to her. Instead of trying to fill every silence with words or take big actions to impress, you let the moment breathe. You hold her eyes for a second, longer than usual, with a small smile, and speak in a calm voice slowly. Right at that moment, you've done something that most men don't notice. You arouse curiosity. She'll wonder in her head, at how he's brought a different feeling like this. Now let's compare that. The way most guys do. They're laughing too loud and too close, or constantly giving compliments instead of. But these actions reflect one thing: the despair, and nothing can kill the attraction faster than that desperate feeling. The secret of invisible attraction lies in the simple principle: less will be more. This is the art of creating a large enough space. Let the natural connection grow. You don't have to do too much, but instead you create a dynamic that makes her attractive. It's not because you're trying to impress. It's the presence and the attitude of omens. Your self-confidence. When you master this subtle energy, you will no longer be a mediocre boy among thousands of others. You'll be the man she can't stop thinking about. This is the key to attraction. It really starts with the mind, not the body. When you change your approach and focus on emotional and mental connection, you raise your value far ahead of other men in her life. And this is just the beginning. In the next section, Stoic thinking will guide you how to build and develop this platform into an even more powerful force. Stay tuned. There are two ways to make her feel seen. This is where most men fail. They think to impress women, they must stand out, flaunt or constantly praise her, but the truth is no which of these actually creates a lasting connection if you want to stand out. You need to do something that most men never think about. Make her feel seen and understood. Ask yourself for the last time, there's an AI that's really paying attention to the smallest things about you. Is when maybe that's how you laugh, a habit you casually mention, or your favorite coffee. It's nice to feel deeply cared for, right? And that's what women want. They want to feel like a real person. It's not just a passing shadow or part of someone else's life. When you show her that you pay attention to the deeper aspects and not just on the outside, you will make a connection that she's hard to forget. How to do this is not difficult. The next time she mentions the smallest thing, like my favorite book, it's a funny habit, or the story of that day, remember that detail, and then naturally, you can mention it in another conversation. For example, if she's talking about her favorite author, ask her for her opinion on another book that author's next week. Or if she's talking about her favorite dessert, suggest going to a cafe that serves it. These missed gestures show her that you really pay attention. And trust the Stoic mind. They're more effective than any compliment. But it's not just about remembering the details. It's how you listen. Most people listen just to give feedback or a chance to continue. But to really understand, you need to listen with attention. Not to answer right away. It's to feel what she's sharing. When you can do that, you're not just a man who listens. You will become a person. Make her feel appreciated and valued. And that's an attractive force. Nothing can replace it. Let's really listen and make her feel seen. Instead of worrying about what to say next, focus completely on her. Listen to every word. Note the tone and feel what she's trying to say. When you do this, you give her a sense of security. Make her feel really listened to and respect. Suppose she talked about a stressful day at work. The instincts of many is to immediately offer advice or solutions, but that's usually not what she needs. Instead, you can respond gently but empathically. It sounds so frustrating. How did you handle that? With just this simple question. You don't just listen, you show understanding. Here's the big difference. When you make her feel seen, a dramatic change will happen. She's starting to feel comfortable. When I'm with you in a very rare way, she'll think this person doesn't just look at me, is a fleeting face in life, he really cares about me. And that feeling becomes addictive. She'll want to be with you because you make her feel understood and be appreciated. That's something very few men can do. Important thing to remember here is to make her feel seen. And it's not in flashy gestures or excessive praise. These are simple but meaningful moments. It shows that she is not only it's a fleeting thought in your mind. So the next time you're with her, slow down and pay attention to every little detail that she shared, really present in that moment. When you make her feel seen, you don't just stand out. It's also about building a deep connection. A connection she'll remember forever even if you have left. The art of exquisite challenge. This is a fact that most men don't realize. Women are often attracted to one person. Men know how to create challenges. Not the kind of person who pretends to be cool. It's someone who understands their own worth. And not rush saw into the tongue of love at first glance. Even if she smiles enchanted at him. Let's think about this. What makes a person memorable? Who is always eager, agree quickly to all offers, always willing to sacrifice all the time and my energy? Or someone who's a little mysterious? Who makes you wonder, what's their next move? The answer is clear, isn't it? When you create a delicate challenge, you arouse curiosity in her. She's starting to think about you more. Ask yourself what you're doing, and more importantly, does she have a position? Special in your life or not? Practical example: imagine you're texting a girl. She offered to see you at the last minute. Most of the boys will immediately seize this opportunity, cancel all plans to see her. But a man who understands his worth wouldn't do that. Instead, you can respond softly. But you can give a snake. I'd love to see you, but I've got a plan tonight. Or I'll schedule a different day. What does this do? It shows her that you have your own life. You know how to prioritize yourself. And you don't just drop everything because of her. It doesn't mean you're cold or indifferent. It shows that you have self-respect and confidence. When you're not in a hurry to please, she'll see you as a man of high standards. And know how to value your time. The key is here. The exquisite challenge. It's not about being distant or cold. It's the balance between showing interest and maintain standards for yourself. You want her to understand. You like her company, but at the same time you also have to make it clear that time and your attention It's not something that AI can easily get. It doesn't just make you different. It also creates power. Deeply appealing, she can't help but think about you. Another real-world example. About the art of subtly challenging. Let's say she asks you for help that you don't feel comfortable with. Like moving things in a short time instead of agreeing immediately. Just because you feel you have to. Let's respond calmly. I really want to help you. But I have a plan. Can I find another time? This answer shows her that you're not a person who's easily manipulated or imposed. And trust the Stoic mind. That says a lot about you. Why does this approach work? When you're skillfully challenged, you invoke a psychological mechanism. It's called reciprocal interest. What this means is she'll start to value attention and your time more. Because they're not easy to get. She'll realize that being present in your life, it's something special. Something that takes effort to achieve. How you show respect for yourself. It's not a psychological manipulation game. That's the way to show her. You are a confident man. Understand your value. And remember, this is fascinating. When you master the fine art of challenge, you will completely change the dynamics of the relationship. You're no longer the one chasing her constantly. But on the contrary, she'll start making an effort to capture your attention and affection. This is a strong position that every man should aim for. In the next section, we're going to discover a tool often underestimated. It can leave a lasting impression. Please pay attention to your tone. 4. Master the power of tone and language. Most men don't realize that how you say something is often more important. It's what you say, tone, and how to choose words. It can create an attraction. It's hard to stay long in the mind of the listener. It's not just about the content of the conversation. It's the energy and the purpose behind it. Your words, a calm man, confidence and control of voice, immediately become prominent. Women on a subconscious level to recognize and be fascinated by these subtle signals. If you do the right thing, you can convey strength, stable, and it's engaging without all the noise and all the fuss. Master your tone of voice. A steady, calm voice, slightly slow to show confidence and control. Imagine a man speaking slowly, the deep tone, and have a clear sense of what you want to convey. That's the kind of presence attract others naturally. Now let's compare this to a guy talking too fast, stutter, or fill the forest with the anxious murmurs. The insecurity was evident in the way he spoke. The lesson here is simple. Slow down, take time for every word, and let your words carry weight instead of rushing to say, I really like to spend time with you. Let's try to pause, look her in the eyes, and speak slowly, confidently. You know, I really like to spend time with you. Take a short pause before you finish speaking. It will add depth and the feeling of paying attention to your words. It creates expectations. Make her pay attention as the person towards you and wonder, what will you say next? The power of suggestive language outside the voice. How you choose your words is also important. It's not too flirty here, or use loose words. It's choosing words that open up depth and mystery. These words, to help reinvigorate the imagination and make her feel that you are an interesting man. There's a lot to discover. When you put together a calm tone, pay attention to open language, you'll create an engaging presence that she's hard to forget. Try changing the way you use your language in a subtle way. For example, instead of saying, you're interesting, try, there's something about you I can't understand. There's just a small difference in words, but it completely changed the dynamic of the conversation. Now she'll wonder what he sees in her. What makes him so curious? You've created a moment of mystery. And remember that mystery always leaves an unforgettable mark. Go into the conversation instead. It just stops at the surface. Another way to use suggestion language is driving the conversation. Get out of the suspense theme instead of asking familiar questions. Just like your weekend, let's ask deeper questions. For example, I have a feeling I've been through things that many would find hard to believe. I want to share something that doesn't come to this question. Invite her to open up and talk about what it means to her. Then you've made a connection beyond the usual key stories. And that's the kind of conversation she'll remember forever. Even if you're gone, the golden rule is less is more. You don't have to overload the conversation with a lot of questions or constantly trying to impress. Let your tone be soft, steady, and confident. The short forest, it'll make space for her to feel. And high feedback, it shows that you are comfortable with silence. It's a strong sign of confidence. The softer and the more ink your presence will become even stronger. When you master the art, tone, and suggestive language, miracles will happen. She's starting to feel attracted to you. It's not because you say perfect things. It's because you've created a deep feeling. and can't be ignored, a feeling she'll remember forever. Year-strong eye contact. Let's talk about one of the fake hit attraction tools. Low but extremely effective eye contact when done properly. It can create a strong connection. So much so that she felt it deep in her soul. The way you look at her deeply and confidently. It can send thousands of messages without having to say a word. Because eye contact is so effective. The truth is that most people I'm not used to having that I actually look at them with full attention. Eye contact, it is easy to make others feel vulnerable. But that's also why it's so powerful. When you look straight into her eyes, you're sending an implicit message that you're completely present here. I'm confident and not afraid to show this attention. It's very rare. And what's rare is always impressive. How to make eye contact properly. The key is not to stare or try to overwhelm her with your eyes. Instead, hold her eyes longer than usual. About a second. This allow her to feel the weight of her attention. From you practice this subtlety, for example, when you talk to her. Mostly, men stop making eye contact too soon. For worry or neglect of the party, looking down at the phone or elsewhere. But you are different. When she says you keep your eyes on her, it shows that you don't just listen to her. But I'm totally focused on her. In that moment, if she's telling you, listen to a story about your day, restrain the urge, look elsewhere or check your phone. Instead, look at her with focused but comfortable eyes. Nod gently to show that you are listening. You can smile softly. When she says something interesting or fun, these small actions send a clear message. I see you, I'm here with you. This will make her feel appreciated and deeply connected. A feeling she'll remember a long time later. When you master the art of eye contact, make her feel like I was the only one in the room. And that feeling of attention is incredibly appealing. Let her be the first to break your eyes. Usually when she looks away, that's a sign that she's feeling this intense attraction in a positive way. And if she glances back to check if you're still looking, well, congratulations on arousing your curiosity. But be careful. Don't confuse this with overwhelming stare. The goal is not to make her feel threatened. It's about making her feel comfortable, but still fascinated. Soft eyes and comfort instead of staring hard. Keep your eyes relaxed, warm and friendly. A light smile can make her feel good and reduce any unwanted stress. A moment of silence full of charm. This is a particularly effective trick. In moments of silence, hold her eyes for more than a second. This creates a positive tension, a hidden message that you're here, I see you, and I really care. Why does this work? Most people are afraid of feeling vulnerable. They avoid eye contact for too long. But when you maintain a steady, confident eye, you show her that you're not afraid of intimacy. You're signaling that you're comfortable with yourself. And this is fascinating. When you combine the soft tones, exquisite speech, and presence, focus with strong eye contact, you become an unforgettable person. She won't stop thinking about you. Lean back on those moments in your head. Wonder, what is it about him that makes me feel so different? That's the deep appeal and sustainability that every man should aim for. 6. Building the mystery. The power of just being out of reach. If there's one thing that can make a woman always thinking about you, so that's the mystery. It's not some cold, distant mystery. It's the kind of thing that makes her wonder, what is he thinking? What will be his next move? Most men make mistakes is to reveal everything too early. They share too much too quickly. Try to prove yourself right away. But let me tell you something. Hold it a little. It can make you a lot more attractive. When a man reveals everything from the beginning, he didn't leave anything for her to discover. And when there's no more curiosity, the attraction fades away. Let's think about this. What's more interesting? A book you know is over, or a book that makes you guess through each page? The attraction is the same. When you create a sense of mystery, she'll be attracted to you because you want to learn more. And I'll think about you long after you say goodbye. How to build mysteries. 1. Against the urge to share too much. When she asks you about your weekend, instead of detailing every activity you did, or just enough to arouse curiosity, for example, instead of saying you went out with your friends, watch this movie and have dinner at S, let's just say it's been a fun weekend. I tried something new. You must have had an interesting weekend, right? As a result, she'll be more curious and want to find out more. 2. Let her ask more questions. You don't have to give all the information. This makes her feel like digging deeper into your story. BA maintains the surprise. Sometimes, let's do something she doesn't expect. A small change in the plan, or an interesting question about something profound that you noticed in her. This helps you keep a little mystery and attractive. Why does mystery work? Because it creates a psychological state that she's hard to ignore. Curiosity drives the imagination, and make her think about you more. When you master this art, you become someone she can't stop thinking about. It's a simple but effective way to create mystery. Is revealing just enough to arouse curiosity? For example, when she asks you about the weekend, you can answer, "I had a great weekend. I'll tell you at some point," just with this word. You've made her wonder what happened. Why doesn't he talk right now? This isn't about playing games, psychological or hidden. Important thing, it's about adjusting the pace of the connection. Keep the conversation naturally interesting. And always leave a little aftertaste, wanting to discover more. Another factor that helps to build mystery, it's about maintaining a life of passion. Interests and goals. Women are often attracted to men. There's a lot going on in their lives. People who have goals, interesting projects and personal interests. If your whole world just revolves around her, she'll feel like she can feel it. And the attraction will fade away. The opposite, when you're a man with a fulfilling life, she'll want to be a part of that world. Practical example: if you are working on a personal project or pursuing a new hobby, don't feel the need to explain every detail. Let her slowly explore these things. Through conversations, she'll notice the way your eyes light up when you talk about what you're passionate about. Or she'll be curious about the dedication you've given her. For my goal, this slow disclosure, it makes her want to learn more and more. And I'm excited to be with you. End the conversation at the right time. If you and she are having a great conversation, don't let it get boring. Ending at the right time will leave a strong impression. For example, you can say, "I really like talking to you, but now I've got to go. We'll continue next time." It ends on a positive note. It will make her feel, "I want to talk more." And that's where you want to stop. Always leave an expectation. The perfect balance of mystery. Building mystery doesn't mean it's about being distant or inaccessible. It's about creating a dynamic. Make her feel that there's always more to discover about you. When you reach this balance, she'll feel deeply attracted to you. It's an attraction that she can't fully explain in words. Remember that the mystery is not hiding who you are. It's about revealing yourself little by little to her. Have time and space that appreciates every aspect of you. 7. Master the art of silence. This is a secret weapon that most men ignore. The power of silence. While many people think that the attraction lies in what you say, the truth is that sometimes we don't say anything. They can leave the strongest impression. A forest at the right time or a quiet moment, it can convey confidence that words can never do. Most men feel uncomfortable with silence in the conversation. They rush to fill the void with meaningless words for fear of embarrassment. But a man who understands the art of silence know that it's in those quiet moments that the connection actually happens. Imagine you're talking to her. There was a short forest in the middle of the conversation. Instead of feeling stressed and rushed, say something to break the silence. You let the moment happen naturally. You look at her smiling softly, hold your eyes for a second. That moment creates a quiet space, but full of weight. What does this say about it? Communicate that you are comfortable with yourself. You don't have to rush or trying to maintain a conversation in a coercive manner. You allow the natural connection to happen without using too many words. The power of silence. Silence has power because it creates space for expectation. She'll start wondering what he's thinking, what's he going to say next. That waiting makes her lean towards you, focus completely on you, and feel your powerful presence. Male, to master the silence, don't be afraid to let the natural forest happen. Silence is not the enemy. It's a tool that increases engagement and engagement. 2. Combine silence with communication with soft eyes and expressions, a calm gaze and a fleeting smile. It will make her feel comfortable. No worries or pressure. Don't fill every gap with meaningless words. Sometimes a sentence has weight. You need to stop for a moment so that it has time to settle in the air. When you know how to take advantage of silence at the right time, you control the rhythm of the conversation. Your presence becomes stronger without having to fuss about saying too much. She'll start leaning. Hold that moment in your mind. Wonder, what is it about you that makes her feel so different? And it's a deep, unforgettable attraction. Master the art of silence. It creates a pull from calmness. Silence doesn't just help you create tension, positive, but also a powerful tool, help to enhance the appeal and connection when used correctly. It shows confidence, mindfulness, and the ability to control emotions without you having to say too much. Use silence to respond with caution. When she asks a question, don't rush to answer. Instead, take a moment to think. For example, if she asks you, "What are you passionate about?" instead of saying the first thing that comes to mind, Stop looking into her eyes and say, "That's a good question to think about." This approach does two things. It shows you not trying to impress with the answers. It was prepared before too. It makes her feel respected. It's like her question deserves to think honestly. That quiet moment help your words have more weight and impact many times when she's open about something private. Don't rush to give advice or change the subject. Instead, keep quiet for a moment. Let her see that you really listen and understand. This action let her know you are completely present in that moment. Understanding is not this word, there's a deeper connection than anything else. Create mystery with silence. Silence is also a tool. Great for enhancing the sense of mystery. If she asks you about her life instead of detailing everything, answer briefly and attractively. For example, "Your life is interesting. Maybe one day I'll tell you." Then let the silence dominate the rest. Why does this work? Most men are constantly talking to keep their attention. But silence shows you restraint and confidence. It conveys that you don't feel the need to prove yourself or fill the space with words. It's this restraint. It is the sign of a confident man. Be comfortable with yourself. The art of silence. It's not about keeping quiet all the time. It's knowing when to speak and when to let the moment speak for itself. When you use silence at the right time, you create a calm atmosphere. Confident and attractive, she'll be attracted and start wondering about you nonstop, relying on those moments. In my mind, this attraction doesn't come from your words, but from the strong presence that you leave behind. From my personal point of view, the real appeal doesn't come from your words or ostentatious actions. It's in small but meaningful things. A slow gaze deep into the mind, silence at the right time, or a sincere understanding that doesn't need to be displayed. The full presence itself. And the ability to control emotions, which creates a strong and lasting attraction. Many people actually make mistakes. They think they need to talk a lot, must constantly express themselves so as not to be forgotten, but sometimes calmness and patience in communication is the key. It shows the deepest confidence. A forest is not embarrassing if you know how to use it as a space for emotional connection. That silence, it can make the enemy feel that you are present absolutely and pay attention to them. But I think that mystery and secrecy, it's an important factor in maintaining attractiveness. Long-lasting. When you don't reveal everything too soon, new friends enter the journey, discover every part of you. This doesn't just arouse curiosity, but also build a desire to learn more about you. Women, they are often attracted to men with depth, inner, who don't need outside confirmation. It exudes confidence from within. Finally, the most important thing in a deep relationship, it's not outside efforts. It's a sincere presence. The understanding and the feeling of being seen. This is the foundation for building lasting connections. A synchrony between the mind, feelings, and mutual respect. We've gone through 7 ways. 7 ways to help you create attraction you can resist without having to touch her. In every way, exploit the subtle aspects in human connection. The presence of emotions, mysterious confidence, and even silence. But the most important thing is that none of this related to manipulation or psychological games. All of this, it's about being a real man. Understand the art of connection. Who are Stoic thinkers? Believe that the real power, it comes from mastering emotions and his own actions. When you apply this philosophy to attracting, you're not just trying to impress. Instead, you show her that you're different, that you stand out naturally. You don't have to be loud or flashy, because you're operating at a deeper level. It's a level that most men can't reach. You're creating an unforgettable experience. Let's think about this. When you make her feel to see and understand, when you subtly challenge her, when you leave room for mystery and for words as well as your silence voicing itself, you're creating a strong attraction. It's an experience she can't forget. This is something that most men can't do. The appeal, it doesn't come from trying to please her or seek her approval. It comes from you. When you shift your focus from finding acceptance to self-mastery, you will improve every aspect of your life. Attraction becomes natural and easy, because it's not based on tricks or superficial effort. It's about who you are. And that's the real power. It's time to turn these ideas around into real action. Let's start with the small but powerful. When you're talking, try keeping your eyes open a little longer. Really listen without interrupting, and cleverly leave something unsaid to summon the curiosity. You will notice different results immediately. Remember that the real appeal doesn't come from appearance. It's from inside the mind. The man understands this will always shine in the crowd. Thank you for your time. Follow the video if you find this content helpful. Don't forget to like it. Leave a comment and subscribe to the Stoic Mind channel. To get even more in-depth sharing, see you in the next video. On the channel of Friendly Stoic Thinking.